again. Welcome to today's attempt at the Time Guesser puzzle. This is the game that tests your history knowledge and your geography knowledge. We'll be given a series of 5 photos just like this one. For each one we have to say where in the world was it taken, but we also have to say when in history was it taken. It could be anywhere from 1900 to the present day. This points the closer you are both on the map and on the timeline. I usually aim for about 2/3 to 3/4. That's what I say I aim for anyway. But it just always varies depending on how good my guessing is and how easy the photos are to decipher. So we'll see how we get on today. Of course, feel free to play along at home and leave your guesses in the comments. We're looking at a very old photo, I think. Well, I say that. I mean, this guy is a soldier. They're doing something war-related, but they're doing it in a car? Are they doing it in a car? A van? I don't think it's a horse-drawn vehicle, is it? It's a little bit difficult to tell from this angle, but I think this is clearly just a horse. But I don't think this is horse-drawn. So I think if it's war-related, that makes it more likely that it's Second World War rather than First World War. Because, I mean, it looks super old. I could easily be persuaded that it's First World War. I'm just not sure if they'd have had vans that looked like this quite back then, and the photo quality is pretty good, so I do think maybe that means it's a bit later. In terms of location, we've got the O with the line through it, so I'm thinking Sweden. Yes, Torvet. It's Scandinavia somewhere, so if I go for Stockholm, I don't think I'm going to be a million miles away, so at least that's something. I think I'm just going to have to go during World War II. Let's go 44. Yeah, and we'll go Stockholm, and let's hope that I haven't made a complete Horlicks of the first one. It is 40. Okay, I should have gone earlier in the war. And it's Oslo rather than Stockholm, so neighbouring country, almost the neighbouring year. That's not too bad of a start. 8,000 out of 10,000. We're on course for more than 80%, but we'll see what the next 4 brings. Okay, that is the Bulgarian flag, so the location should get me a bunch of points. That's good. No idea who that is, but I mean, I'm presuming he's a famous Belgian politician or something. A Bulgarian, not Belgian, sorry. It's not a black and white photo, but equally, I mean, we're not going to see a smartphone in sight, are we? So it's not going to be super modern. I'm pretty confident that the year's going to start with a 1 and a 9, but what is the 3rd digit? That's the important thing. I can believe this is 60s, I can believe it's 70s or 80s. So the question I have to answer is which of those is more likely. Could be 90s. I might go, yeah, 85, because I'm going to be at most 14 years off if it's later, because it's definitely not after 2000, surely. It could be 60s, so I might be a couple of decades off if it's earlier, but I think hedging my bets and going for 85 is the sensible thing to do, and we might as well go for the capital just because it's more likely to be there than anywhere else. Only 1 year off, and it was the Bulgarian communist leader Todor Zhivkov. Yeah, I said famous Bulgarian politician. I said it was 85 and it was 84. I think that's a pretty good effort. What's going on here? I feel like I should recognise this bridge and this city, but maybe not. I'm gonna say, is it the Dalai Lama? I don't think we're in Tibet though, that's the thing. This looks more like what I kind of expect something like Chicago to look like, because that's got elevated railways and things like that. The trouble is this isn't an elevated railway, it's just a bridge. So it could be London. I mean, my first thought was that this is the Shard. I just don't recognise this bridge. But I'll be very annoyed if I go for Chicago and it is London. But equally, I'll be very annoyed with myself if it's Tibet and it is the Dalai Lama and I go for Chicago or London. So I feel like I'm going to be annoyed with myself either way here. Is that the London Eye? Is it actually just London? Is this just a part of a bridge that I've just not seen? I mean, that's got to be the Shard, hasn't it? If only there was a different building in play that I also recognised. What's going on here? Can't quite read any of those signs apart from RASC. Royal Amsterdam Sporting Club. I don't know. Can't read any of the other stickers. Surely I would recognise it if it was London. But also there would be so many more American flags around if it was America. Don't know what these are. Are they just padlocks? This is very frustrating because I feel like I should know. Maybe that is an American flag, having said that there would be more American flags around. It could be some red and white stripes there. Maybe that's just about enough to tip me over into going for America. I just can't read what that sign says. I can't see what side of the road they're driving on. Oh, what do we do? I mean, it's got a selfie stick. It's got to be pretty modern. We'll go 2015. I'm going to go Chicago, but I could be so far off. It's 2017. It's New York. It's Brooklyn Bridge. There we go. I feel like I'm in the right country. I'm kind of close to the East Coast. I deserve more than 3,000 points for that. But yeah, the problem is America is so big that I've only got about half points for being in the right country. That's a bit frustrating. But again, not as bad as I thought it was going to be at one stage. I second guessed and third guessed myself so many times on that one. But we got it pretty right in the end. What's going on here? This is a D registration plate and it's clearly somewhere in Britain. So I think that's going to be early 70s. Or maybe a bit later than that. I'm just trying to remember that basically the way that car registration plates worked is they went through the alphabet. Oh no, it is going to be later. So they went through the alphabet with the letters in alphabetical order, then 3 numbers, then 3 letters. And basically every year they put out new cars and it had the next letter of the alphabet at the start. So for this to be a D, it would be in the 4th year, maybe the 3rd year. I can't remember if they skipped some letters. I think the 4th year, after they started this number plate format. But I think what actually happened is when car number plates started appearing in the 60s, they started from A on this side. And then they went for 20 years, 18 years. They skipped some letters like Z because it looks too much like a 2, like I and O. So it's not 26 years. And then they started the same thing from the other side. So this is about, it's going to be late 80s, I think. When I said early 70s, that would probably be what it would be if it was on the other side. Yeah, so I think late 80s, early 90s. Highland Recruitment Services. And there was some other reference to Scotland, wasn't there? Yeah, Royal Bank of Scotland, Clydesdale Bank. Marks and Spencers are everywhere. Inverness. I was going to say, if it's in the Highlands, it will be Inverness. Because that's the biggest city in the Highlands. I just wasn't sure before I saw that sign whether it was actually in the Highlands or whether it was just going to be Glasgow or Edinburgh. But yes, I mean, it's clearly in the Highlands. We're going to go... I feel like I can remember having a K registration plate, or my dad having a K number plate in, let's say, 95. So E, F, G, H, J. I think for D registration would be 88. Although the trouble is, there's no guarantee that this is a new car, is there? That might be an F back there. So let's go a little bit later. We'll go 92. Yes, but we're definitely going Inverness, which is up here somewhere. Oh, it's really up there. I always forget just how far north it is. This is it the same M&S but still standing? There's train stations there. I think we're looking down this road, aren't we? I'm gonna go. Can I find the police station? Not sure I can. Let's just go there. We're pretty close, I think, both on the year and the location. I got it spot on, and I was 145.7 feet. I'm not sure I've ever seen it measured in feet before. Because they do miles if you're too far away. I thought they then went down to meters. So I'm very confused about why they've now changed to defeat. But anyway, that is a perfect 10,000. Wow, that doesn't often happen. I'm delighted with that. I'm glad that I gave the whole spiel about the history of British car number plates now, because I'm sure that was useful or informative to at least one person watching. Um, it's all downhill from there. What are we going to end on? It's a Seat. Does the SP mean that it's in Spain? No, because that would be ES, wouldn't it? For España, or just E. So maybe it's not a Spanish car after all. That is not quite good enough quality for me to be able to read it, which is infuriating, but I'll try again in a minute if I don't find any other clues. There's just a bunch of Seats. Why are there so many Seats? I don't know what country this is, and I cannot tell from a number plate, because I might know in intimate detail how British car number plates work, but I'm clueless when it comes to any other country. That says ATOC something. I cannot begin to guess what country that is, or what town that is, which is annoying. Hotel Mediodía. I mean, that sounds Spanish. I'm pretty sure that is a Spanish word. Medio is half and dia is day. So is it like Hotel Midday? Something like that? Or Hotel Half Day? Strange name for a hotel, I suppose, but it works. I mean, the photo quality is just not good enough for me to read any of these signs, which would make it so helpful if I could. I think, I mean, I'm not certain, but I think the combination of the Spanish sounding hotel name and the SP, I still really would have thought that it would be E for Spain, even back then. Maybe they've changed it. I'm guessing that Madrid, the M means it's a car from Madrid, the B means it's from Barcelona. There's at least one more Madrid there and one more Madrid there. So I think I'm going to go for Madrid. So then the next question is what year? I mean, it's a black and white photo. I'm always scared of black and white photos because they could be anywhere from about 1900 to 1990. I don't think we're talking 1900. There's way too many cars. But how old are we talking? I might just leave it at 1962. That's what it defaults to because it's the midpoint of 1900 and 2024, which I guess is when the website started, even though now it's 2026, and so it clearly should be starting with 63. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at 62 because if I move it, I'll probably end up moving it the wrong way because I don't even know whether to go earlier or later. But we are definitely going for Madrid, so pretty confident that I'm going to be vaguely close on both of them. It was in the 60s, it was in Madrid. We've ended with another 83, and that does mean that we've got a massive 44,044 points. That is one of my best ever. I think it might be my second highest score that I've got on camera. But I think when I got the highest score, it was a much easier one. It said a lot more of the locations and the years explicitly somewhere in the photo. Whereas today, I had to do a lot of thinking and deducing, and I thought and deduced more than I usually do, or better than I usually do with this game. So, yeah, very happy with that. Wow, 88%. That is much more than what I said I was aiming for. I will take that. Yeah, that's TimeGuessr. Thank you for watching. As I said at the start, let me know how you got on. Thank you for watching and bye for now.